Oh boy, if you're a member of Team Tank, this was a big one, and you'll be scoreboard watching later. If you're a fan of the Calgary Flames, you're scoreboard watching now and seeing you're in good shape. We'll break down this game and the newest defenseman to join the San Jose Sharks right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Saturday, March 25th, 2023. The San Jose Sharks lose to the Calgary Flames 5-3. Their ninth straight game without a win. And we welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks postgame. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow Sharks fans and hockey fans all over the world and in Sharks territory on the YouTube page or the app. You can also check us out on Twitter and Twitch right now live, so join us over there. Of course, we always encourage you to follow us on the social, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, TikTok. You can find everything at tealtownusa.com. Of course, you want to support the pod, you can Venmo us at tealtownusa, easy for me to say, or hit us up on a YouTube super chat to have your comment read live on the air. And I say hello to Mr. Ian Reid.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, man.
When the Sharks do bad, it's good.
Yeah. At this point, you have to, right?
Yeah.
At this point, you have to take that. Oh, man. Sharks, I don't know anymore. It's just 14 out of the last 15 games with the loss.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Their ninth straight defeat, whether it's overtime or in regulation or in a shootout. I mean, and it didn't start out too well either. Just gets things going early, and Calgary strikes like a couple of times within the first 3 minutes. He had, Uyghur, who hasn't done much since coming over from Florida, in like the 4-minute mark, of course, so it's in the first 5 minutes. And of course, Toffoli gets a beautiful feed from Lindholm for his 30th to make it 2-0. And you're like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah. Sharks didn't obviously get off to a good start, which is fantastic. It's exactly what you want. It's what makes these shows so challenging now, is because it's like you do the opposite of everything that we'd normally do, right? It's like, oh, the Sharks sucked, it was amazing. They didn't get off to a particularly good start. I don't think Kaapo Kähkönen had a particularly good game, and all these things are great. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, they got off to their typical start, and then we're down 2-0. And then
Michael Molasses asked me, what do I call this thing on my head? Well, I'm in Canada, so this is a toque.
As opposed to a beanie down here in the States?
I don't know, whatever you guys do. You guys do you.
Yeah. Hey, we love the toques, and I love the skate lace hoodie. I mean, I've got to say that's a beauty, bud. SG Sports Talk channel, this loss was crap. Yeah, well,
I mean,
the other 53 that we've dealt with this year.
I mean, at this point, right? Like, what is there? I mean, they've been eliminated from the playoffs for a while. All that matters now is just finishing as low as possible, so you get the maximum number of lottery balls in the lottery, and then you just hope for the best from there.
Yeah.
That's just how this works. I mean, at this point, like, if you're watching for wins, I feel bad for you.
Occasional wins.
No, I don't even. I mean,
there's no way they could lose last
good does
9,
that
right?
do? I hope they do.
Well, yeah.
What are you cheering for at this point? If you want them to win, like, what do you want? Like, you want them to move up the standings and and go from like being, you know, a top 2 pick to a top 5 pick. I don't think that's. I mean, look, you do you, but
True.
You do you. But I mean, at this point, like, man, I hope they lose, and I hope the season ends next week. I mean, neither of these things are likely to happen. I mean, the former might, but the season definitely won't end next week, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we got to ride this out.
You know, of course. Couture would get a goal to cut within one. Yay, his 7th 25 goal season, his 7th season with 25 goals or more. Let's put
That's
it
good,
that
yeah.
way. And so, little yay, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think on the Calgary Flames for a second, man. I don't, because they're a team where I think a lot of us had them finishing way higher this season than fighting for a wild card spot. But I mean, I touched on Kaapo Kakkonen not being very good. I don't think Jacob Markstrom was very good this game either. And if this is the kind of goaltending they've got from most season, I haven't watched a ton of Flames games outside of when they face the Sharks, so I don't want to like pretend like I'm an expert on what's going on in Calgary. But if this is the kind of goaltending they've gotten, it doesn't surprise me that this is the place they're in.
Right, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. They entered today just 6 points, I believe, out of a playoff spot. Let me pull up all my info here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have it. 6 points out of the final wild card. And what's funny is Uncle Darren Stevens, we freaking love you, even on Twitter or on the broadcast. Love these little things. Calgary and San Jose, the worst in the league. They each have 6 wins after scoring first, entering today. Or it's just like, wow, that is just bad, and it's just bad, and we feel bad. SG Sports Talk channel. I don't feel like watching the Sharks anymore. They're playing like poo poo.
I mean, dude, if I didn't have to be here, I would have checked out weeks ago. Weeks ago.
Puck Mom was even saying, as I was getting caught up on this game, and she's like, yeah, they look either hurt or they're just tapped out.
I think it's a little of everything, right?
Yeah.
Like it's been a long season. I think Aldous losing definitely takes your toll. Like again, like, there's all the talk about tanking or whatever, but like players don't tank. They're not in on the tank, as some people would say. Like those guys, you don't get to this level of professional sports in any league if you're not driven to win every game.
Right.
So I think that, obviously this team, I think they're pretty unhappy with the way they've played this year for sure.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. DJ Rob 559 on the Twitch. Thanks for joining us on Twitch, Rob. 2 more weeks until this season's roughly over.
Thank God.
Ruben on YouTube. I can't be fake disappointed. Yeah. It's just, yeah. And Steve Rector, everyone's just waiting for the season end, players included. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. However,
what are they playing for at this point, right? Like you're not playing for anything. You're just running out the clock.
For some, I mean, LeBanc, Drager, you're playing for your job.
Sure, yeah. You're obviously you want to do stuff, but at the end of the day, I mean, like, unless you're like a big world championship guy, like, what do you?
Yeah,
running out the clock.
Exactly.
And good for and Quinn's gonna coach Team USA, and that's nice for him. I don't think we mentioned that on any of our shows yet.
No. So congrats to Coach Quinn.
Yeah,
but I know he was
to Quinn for. I'm sure. Like again, the World Championships is like the one tournament no one wants to go to because it means that you're not playing anymore. Yeah. But I still think it's a cool thing for Quinn to get to coach Team USA. So, congrats to him for that.
No, for sure. So congrats to Coach Quinn on that one. Moving onward to the second period where the Sharks kind of showed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. They get 2 goals in about 22 seconds. First, Nico Sturm, putting sticks on the ice, head up, all the basic fundamentals you know and love when you were learning this game. He gets he gets a tip on a pass from Noah Gregor, goes in, ties it up at 2-2. That ends up being Karlsson's second assist of the game and his 90th point. I guess that's probably the only thing keeping us interested in this season.
Yeah, if Karlsson can hit 100 points, that'd be pretty cool. Obviously, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for things to watch for, I mean, that's definitely something. That's definitely something to keep tabs on. I don't know if you, again, you do you. I mean, like I said, if I wasn't committed to be here, I would have tapped out. I'd be watching other teams and probably getting more into the weeds of like the various playoff races, but yeah, it is what it is.
They're just getting into the playoff race, and just hearing the updates from Randy about the Winnipeg and LA game and everything. It's like, oh, I remember those times. Those were fun. Those were fun times, folks. Oh, man. But yes, Karlsson gets to 90 points on the season. His 27th multi-point game.
Yeah.
I think the most since Brian Leetch in 91-92 when the Sharks first played in.
I'd have to go back and look, but sounds about right.
Yeah, 69 even strength points, only behind McJesus by 1 on that one. And
yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? For all the for any like detractors, like the number of points that are even strength for it, like it's not like he's just dined out on the power play, because a lot of guys do that, right? They'll just dine out on the power play, but so many of those points are even strength points. I mean, it's quite an accomplishment, in my opinion, anyway. And I just wonder, man, like if he gets moved this summer, and I don't know what this team looks like next year if he gets moved this summer, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but obviously I think once the season ends, I think when you start looking for storylines over the summer, is Erik Karlsson a Shark at puck drop next season? I think that becomes a big talking point. And I mean, when you look at the number of points that he's gotten, even strength especially, man, just think of how shit this team would be without him.
Holy hell. He's got 23% of, or part of 23% of all the goals this season.
It's insanity.
Yeah. And it just tells you easily Sharks team MVP. I know we'll get to vote on that soon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know of anybody else that could be it at this point.
Oh, if Erik Karlsson's not your MVP for the season, I mean, I just stop watching hockey.
Oh, yeah, or.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
I was gonna say if he's not the Norris Trophy winner, I mean, I want to know what the heck is your issue.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think he's gonna win the Norris, but I think the one thing that people will constantly say when it comes to Erik Karlsson is that he's amazing offensively and he is a black hole defensively. So I think there will be people who will not vote for Erik Karlsson just based on the fact that he isn't a very good defender. Like when it comes down to it, and look, and this isn't me again. I love Erik Karlsson, but we got to call things how they are.
Absolutely.
No one pays Erik Karlsson $11.5 million for his defense. They pay for his offense. That's his bread and butter. And I think, so I'm curious to see. I think some guys won't vote for him just because. I think there are more complete defensemen in the league than Erik Karlsson who can contribute offensively, but are also good in their own end of the ice, much better than Karlsson is. So I think there's going to be some people who will not vote for him based on that alone. Will it be enough that he doesn't win the Norris? Time will tell.
Yeah, that's just going to be interesting how this all turns out.
Yeah.
When did he? I love when you search Erik Karlsson Norris Trophy. It's some idiot saying Karlsson's trophy case is not as strong. Yeah. Okay, clickbaiter. Whatever. What year did he win the Norris?
I don't know. It was forever ago. Now I gotta go look.
I'm just curious.
He was still in Ottawa, right?
He was still in Ottawa. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't. And I know he's won twice, right?
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm gonna find out right now.
things we do on the air when we're not prepping for it.
Yeah, I wish I knew. When did he win the Norris? He won the Norris in, drumroll please, he won it in 2012 and 2015.
2012 and 2015. So 2012, he was a plus 16 with 78 points. In 2015, he was a plus 7 with 66 points.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I again, the sheer number of points that Erik Karlsson has put up this year, I think will get him a lot of votes. I just think there's going to be some heroes out there that are going to be like, well, he can't play defense, so I'm not going to vote for him, and that's fine. Like they're entitled to that opinion, but I think it's, you know, when a guy puts up 90 points, it's 90 points.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, if it weren't for McDavid running away with the points title and having over 60 goals, I mean, maybe we even discuss the thought of even Hart Trophy candidate, even though he's on the worst team in the league at this point.
Yeah, John Swenson in the chat, didn't Ottawa media focus on his rebuilt ankle when he came over to San Jose? Yeah, I think a lot of people thought, like, obviously he's had a lot of groin issues since coming here, but if you remember the cut that he got, I think it was from Matt Cook.
Yep.
The cut he got on his ankle was a really nasty injury, and I think that I don't blame the media for kind of focusing on that injury, because I think that was a really gruesome injury that took him a while to recover from, and so I'm not surprised that that's where the focus was media-wise when the trade happened. But obviously his groin's been a bigger issue than that ankle.
Definitely, and it practically took 2 seasons for him to, you know, recover from that. So, moving onward, I mean, the Sharks would get 2 goals in 22 seconds to make it a 3-2 lead. Calgary would come right back just 25 seconds later with Dewar doing it and doing it good to tie it up at 3-3.
Dewar, he was really big standout player to me today from the Calgary Flames. They've definitely got something there. He was stirring the drink most of the night. But I mean, to me, this was just like Jacob Markstrom letting in some really bad goals, and then Kaapo Kähkönen being like, "Oh, hold my beer, I can do that too." I don't think either goalie was particularly great tonight. I mean, Kaapo Kähkönen, I'm not beating up on Kaapo Kähkönen. I think that we kind of know what Kaapo Kähkönen is at this point. I don't think there's anyone who is left defending this guy at this point. He's not very good. He hasn't been very good this year. And I think the numbers bear it out. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Like I'm not gonna get mad about it, because again, like I hope they start Kähkönen the rest of the season, because better chance of the Sharks losing those games. So it is what it is. But the Sharks definitely, I think goaltending is going to be a big question for this team going forward.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what it'll be like in the off season when they decide and go look around and see what they have in the system, in the pipeline, you know, what you have now. Obviously,
the problem is for the
UFA
Sharks,
too.
though, is like, well, that's the thing, right? Like, obviously, Reimer's probably gone at the end of the year. And I don't know if they would bring him back at this point.
Bye.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a whole lot, like, there's the Sharks have a lot of goalies in their system, but I don't see anyone that I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be the starter next year. Like right now, that's Kaapo Kähkönen, and if it's another year of this nonsense, then that's fine. But I mean, that's what it likely is going to be. Let's be honest here. I don't think this is going to be like, oh, they're gonna draft either, hopefully Connor Bedard, hopefully Adam Fantilli, or, but I don't think that's going to be, oh, they're going to do that, and then everything's going to magically turn around for them.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of goalies in the system, and I don't think they have any goalie that's ready for prime time. So I'm curious to see what they do this summer.
Yeah. It's going to be really... the off-season is going to be really interesting, and we thought we'd be off for the off-season. We'll probably, when news breaks, we'll be right here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Because when news breaks, we'll break it down and then we'll glue it back together, and then you'll go
Yeah. I'll say when the Sharks do good, it's good, or when the Sharks do bad, it's bad, and we'll let you know.
Which is the opposite.
I'll let you know which it is.
Which is the opposite of what they're doing right now.
Correct. Yeah.
So Kadri would get the game-winning goal. He's been on a rough stretch. He had goals in back-to-back games. However, he gone 17 in a row before then. It's just yikes for a tough year for Kadri after signing with the Flames after winning a cup with Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look at anyone who gets game-winning goals against the Sharks is good in my book.
Right.
So more of that, please.
Yeah. He gets the game-winning goal. Toffoli would add an empty netter for his 31st to make it 5-3. On that one, I didn't bother gifting it anyways. Vincent Alvarado, I was worried for a sec after we tied the game, but then we lost, so it's all good.
I was never worried. Kaapo Kähkönen's in net. I was never doubt that this was the only thing I was worried about. I thought with the way the Flames kind of played the latter part of the game, I thought that the Flames were probably going to win this game. My only concern was whether it was going to be in regulation or overtime, and thankfully it was in regulation. So thank you, Kaapo Kähkönen.
Right. Thank you, Kaapo Kähkönen, for doing a job well done. Even though David Quinn says we are not quitting.
I mean, what do you want him to say? We're done. We're done. Just fire me now. We're done.
Poor guy is yeah, we're done. I'm done. And I know Ruzanowski was teasing him on the audio network before you get to the game. He's like, are you checking the BU score during the game? He's like, yeah, I'll have it on my phone, but we got Calgary to take care of it. So we'll see. Going in the chat, Puck Guy, are you going to Nashville for the draft if they get first overall? I'm considering it. And then I meet the girlfriend and her son in Toronto because the Giants are in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. So we'll see on that one. I'm hoping I'm saying it's Knights, adding an additional loss when we lose the lottery. Oh, God. Yeah. Eric Clark, hey, you spell your name the right way. Did the return for Mario Ferraro from the rumor trade ever get announced? I didn't hear anything. Did you?
Pardon? Sorry, what was that?
Oh, did we ever hear about the rumored return for Mario Ferraro?
No. I haven't seen anything. I know there was talks that maybe he was inquired upon, but I don't know. There's never really been anything solid more beyond that. I'm curious to see what it would have been. Man, I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see on that. I wish I was going to Y2K night, but no, I'll be here on the air. So be on the lookout for that. So the Sharks now 19, 38, 15 with 10 games to go at 53 points. That means their max is 73 points, which puts them, if I'm not mistaken, it's obviously last in the league, and Columbus and Montreal are getting set to get underway. Well, they should be about underway right now going on. But the Sharks currently sit in last place as Columbus has 2 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sharks can do no worse than 23rd, finish 23rd place in the league. So they're already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're definitely in the Bedard sweepstakes for sure. They've already
absolutely,
yeah. So it's not like, oh, we just finished 11th, or 12th.
No.
So they're in it for real. That one, as we said, Columbus is at 53, Chicago at 54, and Quackenheim at 56. Everybody else is kind of had some leg room now. I mean, Montreal 62, Arizona 66. So it's
Vincent
good.
Vincent Alvarado in chat asking if we don't get Bedard, are we still happy with Fantilli or whoever's the best option at 3? I look at if we walk away from this draft with Connor Bedard, I mean, obviously Connor Bedard is fantastic, but I'm not gonna be mad if we walk away with Fantilli or a guy like Leo Carlson. I'd be super happy to have in Teal. There's definitely guys there. I think I have some questions about Michkov. But I don't, would I be super upset if that was the play as well? No, I think there's I think if you're in the top 4, you're going to get a really good player out of it. Connor Bedard is obviously the prize. And I think if, I can understand people, if we don't get Connor Bedard, I can understand people being disappointed, but I wouldn't be angry. Like I'd be disappointed we didn't get Connor Bedard, but if it's Adam Fantilli, I mean, that's still a player you can absolutely build around.
Right, absolutely. Not just getting the fancy lights towards you and everything, but John Swenson on YouTube. Hell yeah, Fantilli would be the best first overall in a lot of drafts. Karlsson, I think I would be happy. I think Bedard and Fantilli are franchise-altering picks.
I think so too. Yeah, and that's not to say anything like I really like Leo Carlsson. I think if you get Leo Carlsson, that's a really nice pick. That's a really good piece to have in your arsenal. So I mean, yeah, obviously Bedard is the prize, but I don't think I'm not gonna. If for some reason the Sharks don't win the lottery or they pick third, I'm not gonna be like, well, that's it, guys. This whole season was for nothing, and I'm sure there'll be people who have that reaction. I will not be one of them.
Right. Yeah. So the worst they can really do now is 12th overall. So far so good. There's still time, folks. One thing we forgot to mention is that Jacob McDonald and Matt Benning returned into the lineup. And right before the game, the Sharks announced that they sent Nikolai Knyzhov down to the Kuhre. And that's probably because the Sharks have a new defenseman, and it's Henry Thrun. 6'2", 190 pound defenseman, shoots left. He played 3 years at Harvard with 17 goals, 67 assists, 84 points, 36 PIMs, plus 46. I know we are iffy on the plus minus, but that's nice to see. Member of the 2021 USA team at the World Juniors. Drafted in the 4th round in 2019 with Anaheim, and when they got him just a little less than a month ago from the Ducks in exchange for the 2024 3rd-round pick. So, Ian, tell me what you know and what you think about Thrun.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously on Henry Thrun, this is a guy who the Sharks obviously identified as a guy they wanted to bring into the fold. They spent a 3rd-round pick to get him, which is, a pretty significant pick for a player who could have become a free agent on August 15th. As for those that don't know, college players, if they play their full-time in college and do not sign with the team that drafted them, they can become a free agent on the 15th of August of the summer after they finished playing their last year of college hockey. So this was obviously a player that the Sharks were definitely interested in, again, noted by the 3rd round pick that they used to get him. So the Sharks obviously signed him to a contract. This contract is a 2-year contract, which means that it's basically going to run from right now to the end of this year, and then they have 1 year left on his deal. Then he'll become a restricted free agent. So it's a nice little deal that's going to give Henry Thrun an opportunity to show the Sharks what he has. And it's interesting because obviously, kind of backpedaling for a second, I really liked what Knyzhov did being back up with the Sharks.
I did too.
Unfortunately, the situation there is that he was on an emergency loan. He had to go back down when McDonald or Benning came back into the lineup. So as soon as guys got healthy, your emergency loans have to go back down. Now, could they have sent someone else down? I don't think they can, because here's the thing. The AHL has some fantastic rules about if players weren't transaction there at the trade deadline, it gets more tricky to send guys down. So Knyzhov can go down, and there's no issue there. He was on the Barracuda at the trade deadline, so he can go back down to the Barracuda, no problem. Now, a guy like Henry Thrun, he is on the Sharks for the rest of the season. He cannot go play for the Barracuda at all, which is why this time of year when you see college guys come over, if they play in the AHL after college, they generally sign an ATO. to be able to be eligible to play in the AHL. Once you sign an NHL contract, he's up here for the rest of the year because he was not on the Barracuda at the trade deadline. This is per cap friendly, so if you're questioning me, this is all per cap friendly. I trust cap friendly over my. I think I have a decent understanding of the CBA, but I will always defer to cap friendly in this situation. So Henry Thrun is a guy who is obviously signed. He's the guy who's going to get some games in with the Sharks to finish the season, and he could not go to the Barracuda. So obviously, they had to send somebody down. So it had to be a guy who's obviously eligible to play down there, and that's why Knyzhov goes down. It's unfortunate, I think, Knyzhov. We've seen this happen, right? I mean, it's the same thing as when they send Eklund down. It's more of a business decision than a reflection of the player. Because I think Knyzhov's been really, really good. But at this point in the season, you got to make moves that unfortunately satisfy both the business and the player end. So Knyzhov goes down. Henry Thrun, I'm curious to see what he does. I'm curious to see how he fits in. Because look at. It's kind of the same thing that I say for a lot of guys that come into the fold this time of year, McMadoulin being another one. These guys have played different leagues, different systems, different players. So I'm curious to see what he does. But obviously, if he doesn't have a first good game, I'm not going to be super upset about it because there's a big jump in speed from the college game to the NHL game, and so I'm curious to see what he looks like. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't really. I don't watch a ton of college hockey, so I don't have a whole lot on this guy, but he's obviously a guy that Mike Grier identified as something that he wanted. And obviously they signed him to an NHL contract right now, which means that, not only that, I mean, obviously by burning a year of the contract, by signing it now, you give him more incentive to sign right now instead of testing free agency. So I'm curious to see what, I'm curious to see what Mike Grier's got cooking here, because I think at the end of the day, man, I'm still waiting for my hell yeah Mike Grier moment. Maybe this is a part. Maybe this is going to be one of those things. We'll see.
We shall see. Great breakdown, Bud. Because I was curious about the whole Barracuda thing. If they move on and advance and everything. So great stuff there. Does he make his debut Tuesday at home against Winnipeg?
I wouldn't be shocked if he's in the line. We'll see. I mean, you signed him, you got him ticking. So I mean, to me, I would start playing him as soon as I think he's ready to be inserted into the lineup. Let's see what he's got.
Yep. All right. And defense core: Karlsson, Vlasic, Ferraro, Schimmick, Benning, McDonald. I'm guessing McDonald might be the one that gets the short end of the stick. He is a lefty, so
yeah,
have
probably.
Options.
I mean, yeah, probably. Look at, I mean, Joey McDonald is that's what he is. He is a depth defenseman. So I think if you're looking to take someone out, it's probably McDonald that's going to come out of the lineup. Yeah.
E-I-E-I-O no. Anyway. And speaking of the Barracuda, they play this evening at 6:00. They're home to the Bakersfield Condors. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, follow us on the Twitter machine. We'll keep you posted on everything because, some of us actually think Ian is an actual angry Canadian robot and just can do everything. But
Yeah, the Barracuda, obviously, they're going to get some much needed reinforcemements now. It doesn't sound like Eklund's going to play at all this weekend, which is unfortunate. I'm curious to see what their lineup looks like tonight. I'm curious to see if a guy like Derek Pouliot, who was sent down a little bit before, suits up tonight. Barracuda need all help they can get right now. Like they really need some hands back on the wheel. So hopefully getting a guy like Knyzhov and Pouliot, that'll help shore up their blue line, which needs some help. Obviously, I think if you add those guys and then keep those guys and you keep a guy like McMadoulin in the lineup and you surround him with some better people on the blue line, I think that would help the Barracuda a ton. But the Barracuda, man, they're in deep now, man. They got to get back into this. it's not over, but if they can't take care of, like, they need to win against Bakersfield this weekend. I think if they, if this is game 3 and 4 of a losing streak, I don't know, man. That could be it for them. Like, they need to start getting some points to try and hang in this with the Roadrunners, who also they have a little bit easier schedule than the Barracuda, but not by much. So yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here indeed for the Cuda as they come down the stretch. So yeah, this weekend, 6 p.m., they take on Bakersfield on Sunday. 3 p.m. it is Pucks and Paws Day. I wish I could be there. I'm so mad that I have to work overnight to be there for that one. So if you have it, get on down. And if anybody saves a bandana, let me know.
Question in the chat here about Eklund. I don't know what the injury is. The Barracuda are so brutal about disclosing injuries. They have guys that are shut down for the year that we know are shut down for the year, but they've never publicly stated it. So what's wrong with Eklund? I have no idea. They won't tell us. They're so brutal when it comes to injury reports.
Yeah, and it's tough to take. Apparently the Blue Jackets have scored, and it's Lane Peterson. Oh boy, really? Sure. Now he scores. Hey, well, thanks, Lane. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Kevin in the chat, especially needing to win because I don't want to have to listen to the Bakersfield troll tonight. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that leaves us it for this one in case you missed anything. Or if you want to watch this again, and I thank you for that, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite audio podcatcher, whether it's Apple or Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Odyssey. We are now on Amazon Music, so you can check us out there. Of course, if you're on YouTube right now, I mean, absolutely, positively, hit that subscribe button, and why not?
Why not?
Hit a thumbs up, hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when we go on the air next time, which will be Sunday night for Pucknologists, where you
That's
get
true.
AJ and Hockey Jerk to go over the week that was in Sharks hockey. And of course, for us, we'll be back with you on Tuesday following Sharks and Jets, a big one for the Winnipeg Jets as they try to clinch a playoff spot. Ian, your final thoughts and where the people can find you.
You can find me at Ian Blogs Hockey on Twitter machine, and when the Sharks do bad, it's bad, and that's amazing.
I took that swig of water just as you were saying that. Oh, boy. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Big shout out to Eastside Stitch Jerseys on Twitter and the Instagram for getting the Puck Guy jerseys all set up, rocking the 2 jerseys. If you remember from earlier, before the season started, these were the jerseys that were first bought before the actual unveiling. So thank you so much, and appreciate you immensely for it. You have more jerseys coming in the off season. So, but as for today, yay, you lost. Yay. And I am all of a sudden the biggest Blue Jackets fan. Take that, Nasher.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait. What am I doing? Dude, we forgot the one thing we should be doing. We got to get the Tankathon on.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I can already sense somebody is mad as heck, and it's not us. All right.
He's like, they almost finished. Son of a bitch.
Son of a gun. All right. The Sharks currently have the best odds in the draft lottery. We're going to only do this 3 times here. So number 1, here we go. Arizona and Montreal move up. The Sharks go to number 3. All right. You get Karlsson there. All right. Let's try number 2. Come on. Sharks win. Yes. All right, Chicago moves up 1. They swap with Columbus. Buffalo moves up 9 spots. Get that one more time. Come on, Sharks, one more time. Let's do it. Sharks again. All right, let's go. All right, Philly and Calgary move up, but they don't get the number 1 pick. So 2 out of 3 times it was good for Bedard.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we need.
When the Sharks do bad, it's good in that case. So on behalf of Ian and myself, thank you for watching. Again, Pucknologists, Sunday night, 7 p.m., and we'll be back with you following Sharks and Jets on Tuesday. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Ha! Thanks for watching. Have a good night.